Available on Blu-ray from Film Movement is the iconic PBS series from 1988, Joseph Campbell and the Power of Myth, hosted by Bill Moyers. This was a series that I heard a lot about at the time, but it was not the kind of thing I was interested in at the time. But I know that Joseph Campbell is this icon of thought in terms of myth and theology and religion and all kinds of things like that. And there was this long form series that ran on PBS, as I may have said, in 1988, recorded at George Lucas's Skywalker Ranch, which is very interesting. And it's just Bill Moyers sitting down with Joseph Campbell and talking about all these various aspects of myth that run throughout multiple generations, multiple eons, multiple cultures, multiple religions, and where all the similarities are between all these things that are basically just unilaterally contained within the human experience and human thought over, I say generations. It's more than generations, back to the beginning of time. So I'm going to tell you what's on this. I'm not going to break down each episode because I kind of just did. This is on 2 Blu-rays. It is presented in 4:3 standard def, which is what TV looked like in 1988. You have optional English SDH subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. You get an introduction by Bill Moyers at the beginning of a couple of the episodes. I say an introduction now, an introduction when this was rerun at some point. And you get several episodes per disc. I'll break it down per disc. Each episode is a little under an hour. It's as they aired on PBS. Disc 1, Episode 1, The Hero's Adventure. Episode 2, The Message of the Myth. Episode 3, The First Storytellers. Bonus is The Mythology of Star Wars with Bill Moyers and George Lucas, where if you've ever heard of this thing like The Hero's Journey or The Hero's Adventure, it's something that is like a screenwriting Bible. It's a story structure for what a hero has to go to and how a story of the hero works. And if you know that, it kind of ruins half of the films you will ever see for you because you start to see that structure. I mean, it's Star Wars, it's The Matrix, it's just about everything. And that is, Lucas talks to Moyers about this. So that the bonus episode on this, the mythology of Star Wars, does not have Joseph Campbell in it, but they talk a lot about Joseph Campbell's ideas and how mythology works its way into the Star Wars films. It's 56 minutes long. I will have to say, this was done around the time of The Phantom Menace coming out. It really feels mostly like it's a promo piece for The Phantom Menace. They talk a lot about The Phantom Menace. There's a lot of clips of The Phantom Menace. It's very interesting to hear Lucas talk about his storytelling, sort of picking it apart and analyzing it, and not just saying, well, Luke does this and Han does this in the Empire, where he talks about where a lot of this stuff comes from. So it does have value, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, but just know going into it, they're going to talk a lot about The Phantom Menace. Disc 2, Blu-ray. Episode 4, Sacrifice and Bliss. Episode 5, Love and the Goddess. Episode 6, Masks of Eternity. And the bonus is 2 episodes of an earlier series Bill Moyers did called Bill Moyers' Journal, Joseph Campbell, Myths to Live By from 1981. It is exactly as they aired, so it's got the sponsorship thing up front. And at the end, it has that boom, bing, boom, that I'm doing it wrong. Let's say I'm doing it wrong for copyright purposes, where the old PBS logo comes up, where the P looks like a face, and they have the little dots and that little piece of music, which as a kid who watched a lot of PBS for like Sesame Street and Electric Company and really whatever was on when I was young, that's so burned into my brain. It's kind of cool to see that still intact. Part 1, it's 2 parts of this, and they're each about an hour. So the release itself, this really wasn't my bag. This was something that was just sent to me, and I'm like, oh, cool, I've always heard about this. I'll give it a shot. And I watched all of it, and it did not connect with me. It's very intelligent. It's very high-minded. And frankly, maybe it's just a little too smart for me. Maybe I'm a little too dumb for it. I don't know. It wasn't that interesting to me. I mean, it was interesting in broad strokes, but for me personally, maybe one documentary that contained all this info would have been more interesting than hearing him talk about all of this. He's an engaging, interesting guy. He has a lot of stories, a lot of fables and all kind of myths to talk about and all that. If you're into religion, if you're into mythology, this is right up your alley. And again, this is regarded as like a groundbreaking series that many people are probably going to be very, very excited to have. So don't listen to this schmo who wears a Cannonball Run hat and a Planet of the Apes t-shirt talking about mythology and theology, because it's just not what I'm into. So the discs itself, we have, it comes in this here case, front and back. It comes with 2 discs, and if you take the discs out, you get a suitable for your school locker picture, a kissable picture of Joseph Campbell there with some credits on the inside, and then you get a really well done little booklet here, not so little booklet, that really digs into its essays. It's The Hero's Journey and Joseph Campbell by Stephen Geringer. It's got a breakdown of the hero's journey. I'm like, this is like really intelligent educational, smart people kind of stuff. So if you are into this, it's an excellent set. It looks exactly like it did on TV. So it's a Blu-ray, but it's standard def, but they were able to fit more because you can fit more on a Blu-ray. Looks as good as it did when it came out on PBS in the late 80s, and some really interesting supplements and really pretty hefty booklet of Joseph Campbell and the Power of Myth with Bill Moyers, courtesy of Film Movement.